Leon is the unbeatable champion, but a couple of his team members are missing. So today we're going to see if the unbeatable champion, Leon, is still unbeatable. Which, let's be honest, comparing between these two, obviously. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be playing as Leon in Pokemon Violet with his 3 starters, his ace, and his 2 dragons. But to make things way harder, I've added a couple of extra rules to spice things up. So with that in mind, can we beat Pokemon Violet as the unbeatable champion? To start, we load in as Leon and, well, let's just pray the Academy sports kits are better. We meet the director for the first time and we get to choose our starter. But there's a problem. I hate all of these. So, Master Leon, what will it be? Honestly, I'll take Charmander. No, you can take either. No, I want a... Okay, fine, I'll take the cat. Being defeated, I meet up with my neighbor, who is supposed to be a champion like me. But this isn't my first rodeo, kiddo. I punted her duck to the nearest lake. And the prize? Not money. Crown? Keep guessing. Oh, that's right, a free escort to the Academy, because I am a sucker at getting lost. Unsurprisingly, I still get lost and... uh-oh. We find this funny looking motorbike thing that is looking for none other than my Crumpet, but thankfully decides to help us on out of here, as I think he can smell the lack of sense for direction. We eventually return to the surface and find its owner, Arvin. You can have it. Whoa, wait, I mean, sure, as long as it's got GPS. Once we arrive at Los Platos, there is one thing we ought to do. Bye-bye, kitty. We searched far and wide on the Pokemon portal until eventually we found our lizard. Thankfully, this was by my brother, so we call it Steve.
Steve!
Which way am I going again? Eventually, we arrive at the entrance at Mizagoza, where Champion Demona wants to get slapped around silly by the unbeatable champ. And it just so happens, the unbeatable champion just lost to a duck. Fortunately, the gold digger takes my money and allows us to push on, entering the center of the city. I'm sorry, I literally just moved from Galar. Who are you? We get involved in Team Star's issues, safe to say, but nevertheless, the Team Star grunts were quite easy to take out. Even though our neighbor is worried sick, we still will be using the Terra Orb that she insists we use. There's no need for a champion like me to use it. We still press on and attend our classes, but things really heat up. The days dragged on until eventually we were ready for our independent study. Study? No champion needs to study. Oh, actually, where do we go? Good question. If you're new to Paldea, you should probably join the Discord server in the description. You can also engage with other minor trainers like yourself and organize battles. The link is down below in the description. So we don't overlevel, we need to head over to certain areas in order, starting with Cortondo. Even though we're slightly underleveled, I feel confident we can take on the bug gyms with Steve. Oh yeah, this reminds me back at home.
Goalkeeper to goalkeeper, it's in!
In no time at all, we were able to challenge the gym leader, Katie. They aren't all Okos, but we managed to take down Nimble and Tarantula in 2 hits, and burn a Teddiursa with an Ember which half its attack for Fury swipes. We also take a Fury Cutter, which really doesn't do much, and one more Ember takes down a Teddy Bear. That was probably the easiest match I've ever had on a challenge. With our first badge obtained, we're off to secure our second Pokemon, the nearest one being Axew. I could have chose Rookie D as Leon rented a Corviknight in the anime, but I thought that would be cheap of me. With Axew caught... With Axew caught and named Lamina, we can continue on to our first Titan, Clorf. It's a rock type, so Steve won't perform as well here. Dragon Breath does really good damage, taking it down to half. This, however, activates Anger Shell, outspeeds and takes us out with Vice Grip. Out comes Lamina and instantly goes down to Vice Grip. But we come back after a nap, and this time, Lamina gets it to flee with Assurance, so we chase after it. We get absolutely destroyed on the second phase, but thankfully, Arvin is here to help and takes it down, allowing us to feed our bike friend. I mean, I wanted some, but I'll just make myself a curry at the nearest Pokemon Center instead. But we have no time to waste as we enter the second gym. Yes, the challenge is hide and seek. Really? I can't even find where I'm going, never mind look for sunflowers. But we got to seek in, and if Leon was able to find at least 3 right in front of the start, then anyone can beat this challenge. In no time at all, we found all 10 and was able to take on the second gym leader, Brassius. Wow, do you ever sleep at all? His bags are bigger than my sense of direction. We start with Steve being the ideal advantage against his grass types. Peddler was a nuisance, putting me to bed. But as we burnt it before, it can't heal as much, making it easy to take down. Smoliv was easy in 2 hits, but we aren't looking so great when Sudowoodo comes out. It terrastallizes, and we do decent damage with Ember, but a singular rock throw knocks us out. Lamina, having no decent moves, can only chip away and still goes down. A quick change of strategy later, and still the same thing. Sudowoodo just being too bulky, so I had a plan. Lamina can learn one good move, Aerial Ace, and it already knows Taunt, so Petilil can't use Sleep Powder on us. But on this run, Petilil didn't even start with Sleep Powder and goes down in 2. Smoliv receives the same fate, 2 Aerial Aces taking it down. We're looking much better for Sudowoodo. 2 Aerial Aces getting down by half, and we barely hung on after Rock Throw, so one more gets it in the red. Steve gets outsped, but tanks the Rock Throw and finally burns it to a crisp. And with that, maybe you should get some sleep, mate. Our lovely little Steve evolves into a teenage lizard, and the second badge is ours, which means we can get our final wild encounter, Dreepy. Slight issue. All the Dreepy in this section are over leveled, so it needs to remain in the box. I call it... Why can't they make it simple? After getting lost numerous amounts of times, we bump into falling boulders. I originally thought natural disasters, but turns out it was one big bird doing all the damage. Someone was going to get hurt. It's time for a champion time and take it... Oh. Okay then. As an actual fact, I took it on before giving up with little damage on the Titan, and hunt for another TM to use, Rock Tomb. Not only it's super effective, but it lowers the speed by 1 stage, so we'll be able to outspeed. Lamina takes a wing attack and deals major damage with Rock Tomb. We then outspeed, so we get it down to half. After that, Steve can safely get it down with Ember, though it flees to the cave. Armor finally turns up, and I thought I was the late one getting lost. The bird targets his Nacli, so thankfully a couple of Embers and Nacli's Rock Throw and Smackdown are more than enough to take it out without getting hurt. No boy, this one's mine. Ugh, fine, I'll have my leftover Tikka Masala. It's been a wild ride so far. This has not been easy, and it's only going to get even more challenging. We're now against the Dark-type boss of Team Star, and let's just say our newest member has no chance at taking this thing out. We still have to go in with a minimum of 3, so we bring it along. Pornard is quite easy to deal with, but his Starmobile really dents into our team. Lamina and Steve go down after a fight, but Boo will probably never get its chance to shine. What I found is that Boo doesn't learn any decent moves, to say the least, until at least level 50. But a whole day later, even with Lamina learning Brick Bake, we're still going nowhere. My thoughts are to then spend some EV training and... Oh, I hate this fucking game. Yep, I still lose. It was clear to see this would never be done. And whereas I ideally wanted 1 encounter per gym like the last run, I think we now have to change that. So, after breeding in a union circle, say hello to Brer Rabbit, 007, and the legendary Phil Collins. Really? I can't put the second L? After EV training and evolving them all into Raboot, Drizzile, and Thwacky, we were ready to take them on once more with Lamina and Brer Rabbit. Pornard is an OHKO at this point, and whereas we do chip with Brick Break, we still go down. Brer Rabbit is up, and we have 1 great counter, Low Kick. Its damage is based on the opponent's weight, and with it being what looks like 3 times heavier, it's getting real close, and we just survive. So 1 more Low Kick finally lets us move on. That was a champion win, ladies and gentlemen. With the first Team Star boss stepping down, and with our full team of 6, my fingers are crossed this will be easier now. Knowing my luck, it probably won't. We proceed on towards the Winshire, whereby no surprise at all, I get lost along the way. Eventually, we do find the gym and get challenged by Nimona, and to be honest, I didn't just sweep her team, I embarrassed her. Wow, you battle like you have more than 2 gym badges. I know, it's like I'm a champ already. Next up, we appear on Iono's livestream, and it's up to us to clickbait for her subscribers. She can be pretty tough, as well as a Miss Magius having no weakness once it terrastallizes. But luckily, I had a plan, and I was feeling very confident for once. Hey, where's my share? She sends out her Wattrel, which isn't too threatening. Brer tanks a pluck, and 2 flame charges take her down. Bellybolt is up next, and being a fat frog, Low Kick does decent damage before we get hurt to Water Gun. A Flame Charge later to Chip, and it finishes off with Spark. Lamina is next and eats another Spark, so 2 Bulldozers take it down. Luxio comes out and instantly intimidates, reducing my attack stat. Despite this, we hit hard with 2 Bulldozers, making it fall, leaving none other than the Witch. Its ability is Levitate, so Bulldoze will not connect, but it outspeeds with Hex and takes us down. So my trusty lizard Steve enters the field and burns the ghost with Ember. Annoyingly, a critical Hex knocks us out. It's up to our drummer to finish it off, but we get confused. We hit a Trailblaze to raise our speed and eat a Hex. Luckily, we fight through the confusion and take it out. That gives us our 3rd badge, but at this stage, I'm really starting to doubt whether we'd be able to beat this, especially with the fact the next challenge is against the Raging Fire user herself, Mela. Fortunately, her Torkoal is no match for my other teenage lizard, a water balloon, even confusing the tortoise. But it pushes through the confusion, making me have to do it the hard way. Eventually, her big V8 overheats, and we were able to press on. Aw, aren't you a big goofy goober?
Why do I always get the nuts?
After dealing with Orthworm, we need to get to the other side of Paldea for the next gym. Steve might be able to help me get there. Or maybe I'll just get a taxi. Our next challenge was at Cascarrafa, but first, I think a small gym haul is at hand, including new socks, trainers, and our farmer little brother's bag. We arrive at the gym, but the leader just runs away. However, we catch up to the single-browed water ace, and in no time at all, we were cleared to battle him. Phil Collins is first against Veluza, and Trailblaze helps raise our speed stat. We eat a pluck before a second one takes it down. We're now quick enough for Wug Trio, which is an easy OHKO, but not before pooing myself about Crabbanubble. Thankfully, we just live on 1 HP, which activates Overgrow, so on a base 50, plus Stab, plus Super Effective and Overgrow being now 200, we smash its shell and now have our 4th badge. But that's when the fun stops here, because the Poison Boss isn't fun. All of our team members being strong against Phil, but also Skuntank being able to take care of Dreepy, and Reveroom deals my file types with Bulldoze. You can probably see where this is going. Yep, like Pikachu pinching Paris, I lost, yet again, and again. And finally, after so many attempts, more levels, effort values, and new moves, I still lost, until this run happens. I start with Lamina and hit hard with a dig. We eat a Venoshock, and luckily Atticus doesn't use Sucker Punch, so down it goes to Dragon Claw. Up next was Muck, so we dodge Sludge Wave with a dig, but the second one once we ascend connects, so we fall. So it's up to 007 to finish it off with Mudshot. Too many cars! Bray Rabbit, take it to the scrapyard. Thankfully, we beat the 3rd star member, and hopefully that will be the last of our troubles. Okay, I take that back. I'm completely lost. Thankfully, we found our way out of the Glacino path and arrive at Medali. Not only home to our next gym, but to the Treasury Eatery. The challenge this time around is to discover the secret signature dish. Now tell me, what will you be ordering? Could I have a Fire Blast Madras? Nope. Ember Style Masala? That's not on the menu. Annoyingly, it wasn't Leon's taste, but once ordered, all of these people got yeeted and the whole restaurant was converted to a gym. We're cleared to take on Larry and his normal types. Lamina makes easy work out of Kamala with a dig and Dragon Claw, but Kamala puts us to bed. Eventually, Kamala body slams us to the grave, but Bray Rabbit flame charges it out of the restaurant. We have a boosted speed, so we hit a super effective low kick, but Hyper Drill nearly takes us out. I go for Flame Charge once more with Blaze kicking in, but we eventually fall. However, Steve takes it down with a Flamethrower. Larry's ace is Staraptor, which instantly intimidates our attack. Not like it matters, as we're special hitters, so 2 Flamethrowers is enough to bring it down from the sky. My little Steve finally evolves to 1 big dragon. How? You just ate already? I swear to God, I don't get left alone. Even the top champion is asking for autographs. Nemona wants another fight, and even though Lamina is barely holding on after Lycanroc, it absolutely punts Goomy and Pormo to the moon. Her Quackruffle terrastallizes and does take us down, but nothing more than Phil Collins to take her out with Trailblaze does me good. With Nemona taking a fat L, and our 3 Galar partners evolving to Inteleon, Cinderace, and Rillaboom respectfully, our team is really starting to take shape. Steve helps us get to our next destination in the Cold Mountains, Montenevera, and I had to do some plotting because Rhyme only deals in double battles. So after setting up my squad and Lamina evolving to Fracture, we push on to battle. Another Brit? What are you doing here? I thought you were working with Piers. Him? Nah, he's rodeoing for his little sister now. So the madness done then? Pretty much. Eventually we meet the best MC of RIP, Rhyme, and I send out my 2 dragons. You forgot I had this guy, didn't you? Well, with my attack better than my special, a bite should do me good. Okay then, yep, Boo is still useless. But what doesn't help is the stat boost she gets. 007 Snipe Shot takes out Mimikyu's Disguise, and Lamina's Crunch is just too short. Icy Wind taking her out too. It's up to Brer Rabbit and James Bond to tag team together. Acrobatics tanking down Burnett, and Snipe Shot also finishing Mimikyu. Now the tables have turned as her fans are now mine. Houndstone going down to an easy Pyro Ball, and a critical hit Snipe Shot OHKOs her Toxtricity. And with that, we receive badge number 6. This running around the region isn't great. Harvin calls us about a Titan roaming through the desert, but once we arrive, he's yet again nowhere to be seen, leaving myself and Steve to do all the work. Enjoy the flu. With another Titan dealt with and we push the Mona back to the ground again, my team are really looking stronger than ever. Compared to the start of the run, we are now on a roll, but now we're against the beautician herself, Tulip. No thank you, I have a wonderful love interest at home. I really can't say this was a difficult run. A bit of sweeping later and badge number 7 is ours. The last gym leader specializes in ice types, so to play things safe, I had to bench all of my weaknesses and roll out with my striker, my best friend, and my agent. I thought having less Pokemon it would be tough, but Grush's first Pokemon is easy, and Flamethrower being quadruple weak to Frostmoth, and Titan being physically bulky, Flamethrower packs a punch. We eat a Liquidation before taking it out with another Flamethrower. All that remains is Altaria, and we burn the Cotton Dragon before Hurricane takes us down. Brer Rabbit is quick to substitute, and 1 Pyro Ball strike completes our gym challenge, and we're so close to not only finishing our team, but become champion of Paldea on top of Galar. But that's when Easy pauses for a second, because now we have to beat Ortega. He's the fairy boss of Team Star. 2 of my Pokemon being weak already, and the one that's weak has Poison Jab, so I bite the bullet and level grind to the cap, evolving to our beautiful Haxorus. This gives us a huge stat buff. Alongside with Lamina, Phil Collins, Brer Rabbit and Steve are to support, while level grinding our little Booth, who has been with us for the entire run, finally evolved to Dracolock, meaning we can finally learn this guy some moves. I was expecting someone a little bit more beefed up. Excuse me? With a Zoom Arrow being water type, I make easy work with Rillaboom. It barely holds on and bounces up, so a safe switch to Lamina and Poison Jab take it out. Wigglytuff is up next, and Poison Jab just isn't enough. It hits us with Charm, so we switch out to Phil and eat to play rough, meaning our Drum Solo takes it down. Dashbird is next, so we chip with my Stab. Play rough hits hard, but we hit harder, taking down the Donut Dog. And all that's left is his not-so-Barbie car. We reduce its speed to another drum beating before finally finishing his encore. Out comes Lamina and deals huge damage, but again, Magical Talk takes us down. At least my last 2 resist fairy types, but the rain comes, meaning fire is reduced to half. Despite this, it's no problem for Steve, and we write off his car for parts. With 1 boss left and 1 Titan to go, I'm feeling very confident. I go straight to the big whale with my monkey, so you can see how this one planned out. Okay, Miraidon, you can have this one. With Miraidon's power fully recovered, him and Steve help me guide the way to Eri, which even though it's one of the hardest fights in the game, I feel really confident for this one. I start with Haxorus and set with Swords Dance. Poison Jab hits hard, but an Earthquake that now deals 400 damage taken out. And the same story occurs to a Lucario. Once Annihilate is out, I nearly knock it down with a Dragon Claw, but close combat is too much. Fortunately, Boo with now a decent moveset can take out Annihilate with a simple Shadow Ball. Persimmon hits with a Rock Tomb which cuts my speed back, allowing it to outspeed and take us out. But I now have the opportunity to sweep with my loyal partner, Air Slash, knocking it out and her V8 muscle in 2. All Team Star bases have been conquered by the unbeatable champ. With all 8 badges, we proceed to the Pokemon League. I don't remember there being an interview, we just play football back at home. And I don't see my trusty Steve on this list. Regardless, once we pass, we're eligible to tackle the Elite Four. I really wish I had Solar Beam on Steve, but we press on. Rico was first and we send the Ice Beams into Wishcash, followed by a super effective Snipe Shot on Donphan. Sturdy allows it to endure the hit, so we eventually fall. But thankfully, Brer Rabbit swiftly takes out Donphan with Headbutt. Oko's Dugtrio with a powerful strike, and with camera up being over 200 kg, our low kicks were at 120 power, taking it out in 2. We eventually go to bed, so we switch over to Steve. It terrastallizes and goes for Protect, enabling a free switch. So we hit hard with Fire Blast on the Clodsire, and on the next turn, we take it out with a simple Air Slash. Next was Poppy, who uses Steel-type Pokemon, so my Fire types are sure to hit. Copperager goes down to an easy Fire Blast, and Magnezone endures a hit, but gets burnt. He sent up Light Screen, making it harder for me to hit hard, but the burn gets too much for him. Corviknight bulks up with Iron Defenses while I stall with Ancient Power. By the time Light Screen was out, one more Fire Blast puts its wings to rest. Bronzong is next, and I've run out of PP, so I need to switch. 007 knows Dark Pulse, so 2 pulses finish it off. Tinkaton is all that remains, and Play Rough gets us in the red. So Torrent Snipe nearly takes it down. Giganton Hammer does finish it off, but one more Flamethrower from Boo wins us the match. Oh, Gym Leader and Elite Four member. No wonder why he looks so tired. This time Larry uses Flying types, so we start with a simple Fire Blast on Tropius. Staraptor is next and intimidates us, but as a special hitter, Ancient Power hits hard. We eat a Brave Bird and it goes down to recoil damage. Next was Oricoro, and it's safe for me to switch to Boo, tanking Revelation Darts. A Shadow Ball wasn't enough and Air Slash takes us down. I don't know why I didn't use 007's Ice Beam in the first place, but we move. Altaria didn't stand a chance though. His Flamigo is last, and its Terra type makes it vulnerable to Ice types, so we hit hard, tank a close combat, and one more Ice Beam knocks it out. All that remains are none other than the Dragon Tamer, but in the nick of time, Boo evolved to Dragapult. His Noivern is up first, but thankfully our attack is good enough to attack twice with Dragon Darts. Flapple is next, and the same treatment is given. It's fragile and goes down. And can you guess what happened to Dragonlich? Yep, I sent it to the graves. And his Haxorus goes bye-bye. Baxcalibur is dangerous once terrastallized. We hit hard with Dragon Darts, leaving a third of his HP, but Glaive Rush, a powerful base of 120, knocks us out. But 007 with the power of Ice Beam takes the big dragon out. With that, we've beaten Hassel so badly, he breaks down. All that remains is the champion, although she really isn't strong as I hoped. Her team was also a disappointment as well, but I will be showing her sympathy. Espartha going down to 1 Shadow Ball, her Go-Go tanks a Flamethrower but gets burnt in the process, and after a pointless bulk, we swiftly take it out. That's just pathetic. But King Gambit is probably her most intimidating, eating a Flamethrower and ending Boo's run. The loser is out, so get ready. Avalugg is next and Phil's done its job, so it's up to Steve to avoid the physical bulk and melt it with Fire Blast. All that remains is Glimora. She terrastallizes to Rock type, so we spam Dragon Breath. Hit the paralysis until it knocks us down with Terra Blast. I switched to 007 for 1 quick scope and we just crushed the champion of Paldea. But we're not done just yet, because Nemona wants us to see who is the better champion. But we'll get to that a little later. Next we go back to get some rest at the academy, when lo and behold, Clavell has been Clyde all this time. Yeah, I already knew that. Leon may have no sense of direction, but it's pretty obvious with this stubble that this was him. He starts with Oranguru, so 2 simple knockoffs from Phil do the trick, but the drowsiness puts us to bed. Up next is a Bomber Stone, so I switch to Brer Rabbit, tank a Wood Hammer while waiting for Aurora Veil to pass by. 1 Pyro Ball takes it out however. I then switch to Boo when he sends out Gyarados and eat an Aqua Tail, so I can hit a quad effective Thunderbolt on the next turn. Now that the Veil goes down, we can hit hard. Instead of going for Shadow Ball, I opt for Dragon Darts, kicking in weak armor so the second dart takes it down. Amogus is up, so we cook the Mushroom well done to take it down.
Absolutely beautiful.
Backing him up in the corner, he terrastallizes his Skeledirge, and a Shadow Ball exchange takes us down. but one snipe shot from 007 sets us the match, only to find out he isn't the villain all this time. What are you playing at? We get tasked with doing this job for him while he goes off to write an apology letter. We return to the lighthouse and need Arvin's help in unlocking a singular door, but after learning about the situation in Area Zero with Arvin's beef with his dad, it's time to see if we were ready to venture into the Forbidden Crater. Breeding is first, although easy, it annoyingly paralyzes our monkey, so our drum solo isn't going to be on time. Regardless, we take him down. Scovillian is next, and I switch to Boo to eat a Fire Blast. Spicy pickles. Garganical is next, so we chip with Shadow Ball before falling. Then it's up to Brer Rabbit to... Oh wait, come on, you have one job! We go down to a Stone Edge, so a Sword starts from Lamina, and we have our revenge with a single jab. Next is Tentacruel's cousin, but a single Dragon Claw is enough, and Cloyster gets a huge bruising. But 3 Icicle Spears finish our dragon, so I send my loyal Steve to take it down with Ancient Power, and swiftly finish off the doggy with a critical hit Fire Blast. I'd say we need someone with champion rank battle skills. Hello, Unbeatable Champion here. Back to the Starfall Street quest, and we're battling the big boss, Cascarrafa, or otherwise Penny. 2 drum beatings take care on Umbreon, and we use Stomping Tantrum, bringing Flareon on the brink of death. It goes for Flare Blitz, which takes us both out. I go for Lamina, which doesn't have much trouble taking care of Vaporeon, Leafeon, and Jolteon. Her Ace Sylveon may be a problem to Lamina, but Poison Jab dents into her defense. It does take us out with Moonlight, but one Pyro Ball from Brer Rabbit shut down Team Star. But the reunion occurs, and it just comes to show that bullying can be taken care of with the power of friendship, and also a large amount of crypto. This wraps up the Team Star questline, so Leon had one job left, to battle another champion, Nemona. But honestly, although an improvement compared to La Primaria, still, she's nothing compared to my agent. We take down Lycanroc with a snipe before returning to Lamina when Palmer is put into battle. However, a double shock changes my plans, so I go for Swords Dance instead. We barely hang on, but annoyingly, it knows Quick Attack. Why? Fortunately, Steve can come out onto the field and a single Air Slash takes it out. Goodra is next, and we hit 2 Dragon Breaths, but Muddy Water is too much. So 007 is back out, and his Ice Gadget brings it to death. Next is the Dunsparce, so 2 Snipe Shots take care of the Landsake, but all 4 of them had different plans, pressing us to its grave. Thankfully, Brer Rabbit outspeeds and takes it down with a single strike. We hit hard with Acrobatics, but Aqua Step instantly knocks us out. But thankfully, Phil Collins is ready for a champion time. And it's pretty much over. We're the strongest trainer in Paldea, but we still have one more favour for Arvin. With the help of Nemona and Penny, we ventured down to Area Zero to help Professor Toro. Although things go pear-shaped when we found out it was an AI all this time. This is the final battle of the run, and possibly the hardest battle in all of Pokemon. All of his Pokemon stats matching pseudo-legendaries. Toro starts with Iron Moth, so I send out Lamina to settle with Swords Dance. Sludge Wave hits incredibly hard, but we pull through and an Earthquake knocks it out of the park. Iron Bundle is next, and we hit hard with an Outrage, taking out our biggest threat. And the same goes for Iron Thorns, but that's when the sweep ends because...
You stupid!
Phil Collins is up, and we chip away with Stomping Tantrum until we get to the red. From there, Overgrowth kicks in and a Drum Beating takes it out. Next is Iron Jungleist, so I chip as Phil has done its job. From there, 007 hits with a hard Ice Beam, and all that remains is Iron Valiant. His attack gets boosted, but we still tank Brick Break. Nevertheless, Snipe Shot is enough to bring him down. With that, Leon has beaten Professor Toro and conquered all of Paldea. Thank you all very much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, and ding dong the bell if you are new. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to check out my other challenges too. Until then, I'll see you when A, I'm better, and B, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!